Next news. Breaking news from the White House. The White House just ripped the mask of what they're calling the protest industrial complex, and folks, what they found will make your blood boil. We're talking over $100 million funneled through a shadow network of NGOs, foreign billionaires, and Democrat-aligned organizations to manufacture chaos on American streets. This is not grassroots activism. This is Riot Incorporated. Now we have video proof of their ground game in action, refusing to register Republican voters at so-called spontaneous protests. So the question is, how deep does this rabbit hole go? Now here's why this matters to you and your family. You see, these protests blocking streets, harassing federal agents, and pushing the radical agenda, you see, you're not witnessing organic outrage. You're watching a corporate-funded operation designed to undermine the Trump administration's effort to secure our border and enforce our laws. Your tax dollars? They are competing against billions from George Soros, the Tides Foundation, and foreign nationals who have no business influencing American politics. So think about that. A Swiss billionaire, Hans-Georg Wyss, is pouring money into organizations that put Antifa boots on the ground in your community. This isn't just about immigration enforcement anymore. It's about whether American citizens actually control their own country or whether globalist money determines our future. As tensions escalate with graffiti targeting ICE agents and rhetoric reaching dangerous levels, the potential for violence against law enforcement grows every single day, and your community could be next. Now, I have to ask you this. When you see how organized and well-funded these protest networks are, it makes you wonder what other coordinated disruptions might be coming down the pipeline. Speaking of being prepared for disruptions, if organized chaos hit your neighborhood and you couldn't get to the store, how long could you survive on what's in your house right now? If it's less than a month, you need to check out our friends at My Patriot Supply. They're America's #1 preparedness company with over 3 million satisfied customers who understand that self-reliance beats depending on fragile supply chains. And right now, at preparewithgary.com, their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply comes with an additional week of food free. You're getting at least 2,000 calories a day, real meals made with real ingredients, no artificial flavors or colors, and shelf life that's measured in decades. When the networks are this organized, shouldn't you be too? Go to preparewithgary.com to get your free week of emergency food today. Now let's dive deeper in exactly how this $100 million shadow network operates. And this is what makes it even more explosive. We now have on-camera evidence of exactly how this network operates at street level. At a No Kings protest in New Orleans, an American citizen walked up to a voter registration table run by Indivisible, which is a Soros-funded NGO, and asked to register as a Republican. The response? Quote, "We do not have that. They're only registering Democrats, my friends. This is election interference that's hiding in plain sight at supposedly nonpartisan protests." And a 26-year police veteran just called out Chris Cuomo on his own show about who's really causing the violence. Take a look at this. An NGO was registering voters at the No Kings protests. Americans asked to register as a Republican, and they say, you can't. They only register Democrats. Watch this.
Register to vote here? I can register as Republican, right?
We do not have that.
Thank you. What's your name?
Christian with Crimson.
Crimson, nice to meet you. Thank you. We're here at the No Kings protest, and as you can see, there's a lot of people wearing a lot of pride flags. It's pretty gay here. I may need to take a shower.
My sign says morons are governing America.
I got a question for you. How many genders are there?
How many what?
Genders are there?
There are unlimited numbers of genders depending on how you want to define them.
Nice.
Okay, so you get the point, right? Indivisible, which is a Soros and Indivisible, Soros and selective voter registration. Does this sound like equal opportunity? Let's hear from a veteran officer who pours cold water on Fredo Cuomo's narrative about right-wing protests. Listen to this. A 26-year veteran cop, John, absolutely dog walks Chris Cuomo on his own show. Listen to this.
John, what's your question?
Chris, I just had a follow-up to last night. You seemed miffed by one of your guests saying that Biden arced up the temperature, and I agree with you that he personally didn't do it, but I was a police officer for 26 years, and I've never seen violence in any right-wing protest as bad as I've seen in the left. And all the way up to George Floyd, it's been horrible. Like when you hear that, let's say the Proud Boys are coming to town, we're like, oh, okay, we got to walk for a long time. You hear J Block or Antifa's coming, and you know you're in for it. And I've never seen violence and things done to police officers as nasty and as vile as from the left.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, because you lived it, not me, and I've certainly seen horrible things in protests that I've been standing in and covering. I'm not disputing that. But again, my problem wasn't with that. It was just leaving out the other half. How can you leave out MAGA and the demagoguery of what this president has been about in a conversation about how things have gotten to where they are? I mean, to me, it's like, that's like cognitive dissonance.
These statements, there's no doubt about it, but it doesn't seem to enrage people the way it does on the left. So whatever Trump's doing, it really agitates the people on the left, but it doesn't agitate the people in the middle or the far right enough to do what the left is doing. I think that's where the disconnect is in the way people are thinking. Maybe. You're looking at one side and saying, yeah, and some of the things he says I don't agree with, and they're cringy, but it doesn't cause people to come to the streets.
The caller's name was John. I think that caller's name was actually Dino. He lays it down. There's no comparison. Right-wing protests stay on the stroll while the left stirs the storm. But why the chaos? This next clip dives into how 100 million gets funneled into America's own protest machine. Wall Street Apes posting, this is why we have never-ending protests in America. The White House released the names funding protests and violence. We pay for our own protests with over $100 million laundered by Democrats. We found a network of NGOs. Listen carefully now.
This is not just a story about violence and chaos, as you alluded to, Mr. President. This is a money story. And at the Government Accountability Institute, my colleague and I, Peter Schweitzer and our team, we followed the money, and we followed it to the top of what we call the protest industrial complex, Riot Inc. And we found a network of NGOs. It's not just the Soros network, the Open Society network. It's other funding networks, the Arabella funding network, the Tides funding network, Neville Roy Singham and his network, Foreign Cash. And it's also big left-wing funders. Some of them are not citizens of this country. Mr. Hans-Jörg Wyss of Switzerland. They're pouring money into this entire ecosystem. And so I want to share 3 money facts with you about what we call Riot Inc. Number 1, like any corporation, Riot Inc. has many divisions. It doesn't just have the Antifa boots on the ground division. It has PR divisions. It has marketing divisions. It has a very well-funded legal division to get these boots on the ground back on the streets as quickly as possible. But it does have those investors that I mentioned. Number 2, we have identified dozens of radical organizations, not just the decentralized Antifa organizations, but dozens of radical organizations that have received more than $100 million from the Riot Inc. investors. These would be the lawyer groups. These would be the groups that advocate for calling good, honest Americans fascists, etc. And then 3, I think the most shocking thing is that we have found that more than $100 million in U.S. taxpayer funding has flowed into these funding networks, including at least $4 million to these very groups themselves, not just Antifa types, but there was an event in Atlanta called Stop Cop City. Over 60 rioters were charged with domestic terrorism. These groups received money for that from both the billionaire class as well as taxpayer money. So one other thing, this money helps fund the decentralized crowdfunding platforms. These are ways that Antifa, the John Brown Gun Club of Elm Fork, which had links to that attack on the ICE facility, the Socialist Rifle Association, and just because they don't have LLCs or EIN numbers doesn't mean they can't get paid. Some of these funding platforms, crowdfunding platforms, are funded by this network that we call Riot Inc. So, again, I want to thank you for your leadership, for the whole cabinet's leadership on this. We're going to keep following the money and appreciate everything you're doing, sir.
Do you know the name of any of the funders? Do you know the names? Because if you do, I'd like you to give them to Cash or Pam
Absolutely.
or Christy
Yeah, we'll do that.
as soon as you can. That's all of you, because you probably know the names after a certain period of time. You tend to find out. But these are people that do not have good intention for the country, and that's treasonous probably. So if you could, very important, if you could do that, it would be great. Nobody would know better than you. You'll figure it out.
By the way, I did just message Dino, and no, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. It certainly sounded like him, who called into the Chris Cuomo show. But with the funding network runs deeper than you thought, we're going to find out how the protest machine is built to last. Look at this. Radical left lunatics are sick. Rapid Response 47. You see what they spray painted? Kill your local ICE agents right there. A direct threat. An agitator spray paints "Kill your local ICE agent" on the side of a federal building in Los Angeles as thousands march through the city's downtown for the No Kings protests. While Los Angeles scrubs away aggressive messages with the No Kings rally revealing Democrat alliances reaching red, the kind of red linked with communist symbols and shocking partnerships, the Democrat Party working with communists. Mark Wayne Mullen.
You look at their sponsorship of the No Kings rally, it says CPUSA, which is the Communist Party of the United States of America. And it actually has the same symbol that the old Soviet Union used to have on it. When my team first saw it, they looked at it and they said, "Is this for real?" We researched it, and sure enough, you can see it right there in the bottom left-hand corner where it says CPUSA. You're going, okay, there's a reason why Republicans are calling this an anti-American rally. It is exactly what it is. When you have the Communist Party that's sponsoring it, you're saying that's pro-America? Come on, give me a break. And you're protesting on the streets that President Trump made safe. You're protesting on the streets that President Trump has made it possible for you to actually walk outside. I mean, you're protesting President Trump, who's secured the border, who's lowered inflation, who's brought down gas prices, who's had morale in the military at the highest it's been. You go through the optimistic outlook for the American people, and they're saying that this is the first time they feel hopeful about it. He's ended 8 wars. He's brought home the hostages in Israel, and yet you still see signs out there that says "Free Palestine." I mean, are you kidding? You can't make this stuff up. What are you exactly protesting other than your hatred towards President Trump? And it's absolutely absurd. Well, it even gets crazier than that, Kaylee. If you look at who actually wrote the CR, he wrote it. He wrote this clean CR back in September when he was leader of the Senate, when he was underneath President Biden. This is the same CR we passed last September. This is that he voted for. This is the CR we voted for in December. This is the CR we voted for.
New DHS secretary recently confirmed, also confirming the communist symbols. Wave anew. And chaos in Honolulu shows real consequences of brutal attack on an ICE agent caught on camera. Video footage that's emerging from the No Kings protests in Honolulu appears to show tourists attacking a man in ICE uniform, beating him unconscious and continuing to punch and kick him on the ground. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness.
ICE is made of water! Eat dick, ICE! Come on, bitch! Fucking woman again, you fucking
Oh my God. Something tells me that that's not an actual ICE agent. I don't think an ICE agent would be out there by himself completely without any support. Maybe, I don't know. Where's the rest of his team? And how could they even allow this to continue? But this is the truth that the mainstream media will never tell you. It's not about immigration. It's not about civil rights. It's about power and control. The Government Accountability Institute followed that money and found what they call Riot Incorporated, a full-scale corporate operation with PR divisions, marketing teams, legal funds, and yes, the Antifa boots on the ground. Foreign cash from non-citizens is flooding into the ecosystem. They have branded it, they have funded it, they have deployed it against the Trump administration. A 26-year cop, you heard said it plainly. He's never seen violence from the right like what he sees from the left. This is the coordinated takedown of American sovereignty funded by globalists who want open borders and chaos. What we're witnessing is the exposure of the biggest political money laundering operation in American history. President Trump's administration pulling back the curtain on Riot Incorporated. And the establishment, of course, is panicking because they thought they could hide behind nonprofit status and grassroots branding forever. Those days are over. So share this video with everyone that you know. Drop a comment below. Tell me, do you think these protest organizations should be investigated for election interference? Yes or no? And since you made it to the end of the video, congratulations. Not everybody does. But since you watched the whole thing, that means you care. And since you care, I want you to text raw feed to 844-840-4963 if you haven't done so yet. Don't wait for the algorithm. Don't wait for notifications that never arrive. Wait for the message that comes directly from me to you. An unbroken signal directly from the Next News Network to your phone. And if you haven't done so, also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell because the mainstream media will never cover this story. And if you want to wear your patriotism proudly, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video because the truth is coming out. The money trail is exposed and the American people are waking up. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.